Thanks, Nicole. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this project that I've been involved in for a long time. Before I start, I just want to acknowledge that this is not just a project that I've done, it's a project that had a whole team of people behind it, including Nicole, who was with you back in Toronto, and a lot of other people as well. So the title of this presentation is called Your LINAC and its Radiation Beam. It was not always a sure thing. And this is meant to represent kind of some experience I've had with linear accelerators over the years. I've been involved with Linux for the better part of the last 25 years. And the technology of Linux has changed a lot. And there was a time back in the early days when Linux accelerators were really not very reliable. And just keeping them working in the clinic was a major accomplishment. And so we'll touch a little bit about that in the talk, and also and then what we can do to use that as an opportunity to make our profession better. Okay, so linear accelerator physics is very difficult. If you want to study this in school and you want to learn it at a level that's substantial, you have to go to graduate school and take graduate courses. And a lot of Linux physicists will work at places, large particle accelerators like CERN or SLAC, or in academia. There aren't a lot of Linux physicists that work in a clinical environment, which I think poses a bit of a problem. It's also difficult to teach Linux physics in depth to non-Linux physicists. So in other words, medical physicists. So we know about Linux, but we're not really Linux physicists like the guys who work at CERN. And there are many reasons for this. There are a few teaching resources. There's a limited amount of time, and there's limited access to Linux for learning about this. So just as an example, so the first linear accelerators that were introduced into Linux happened back in the late 40s, early 50s. So this is the picture here of the first patient that was treated by Linux in North America. His name was Gordon Isaacs, and this was kind of championed by a radiologist named Henry Kaplan, who worked at Stanford. Stanford was also where the first microwave laboratories and the people who developed the Klystron were working with the Varian brothers. They were working as well. And so Henry Kaplan worked with another physicist at Stanford named Edward Ginston, and they built the first medical Linux for radiotherapy. So Edward Ginston went on to join the Varian brothers and spun off Varian Associates from Stanford University in 1948. And Henry Kaplan and Ginston and others were on the first board of directors. So incidentally, Varian was the second company spun off from Stanford University in Silicon Valley. The first one was Hewlett-Packard. And so when you think about the high-tech industry today, you can think that Varian has a historic place in that, and it was the second company that started there. So this slide here represents some of what was happening in technology in linear accelerators back in the early days. So the idea here of this slide, so this takes from a paper that was published by Ginston in the Red Journal in the mid-80s. And this is a historical paper about linear accelerator development. And if you look at here on the left over here is the kind of the item that was just described. And this column over here is the year of the invention. And then over here on the right is the year that it was first installed in a linear accelerator. So the point of this slide is that back in the early days, a lot of these technologies were invented, and then just a few years later were implemented in the clinic. So very, very fast turnaround time between invention and application of technologies. So this, and if you think today about the turnaround time between invention and implementation in terms of our clinical products, it's much, much slower. So this, I think they needed to do that because linear accelerators needed to develop so much, but it also posed a lot of challenges. So the time between innovation to clinical implementation was very short. The technology was still experimental in many cases, so the manufacturers were constantly fighting with constrained space requirements for the clinical setting. So don't forget that these Linux, the most important thing of these Linux, they have to sit in a hospital. And when you think about CERN or SLAC, I mean, these are large Linux that aren't really suitable for a clinical setting, and that was the case back in the early days. So the manufacturers were also struggling to adapt to the high-energy physics rules in clinical setting. reliable manufacturing was a work in progress, and so a lot of these devices were made as one-offs, and they weren't really made as with the large amounts of manufacturing that's available to say the automotive industry or other industries. And that's still a problem today. The install base for Electa and Variant Linux today is only 13,000 Linux, which is still, compared to other industries, very small. So the result of all this was that in the early days, a Linux often came with a Linux engineer as an accessory. And I remember a story about this. Some of the early Linux that were installed by Vickers, Metropolitan Vickers, back in the 1970s, where the beams were so unstable that it basically took a couple of years to make engineers to come and make machines work. A machine that was built by Metropolitan Vickers. It was installed in the Hammersmith Hospital in England. And so the design specs were 10 MV. However, the machine was only able to make 8 MV. So this, as an example, just to show how the issues around reliability. So it had, here's the gantry, which was not obviously very different from the gantry we have today. So here's the patient bed over here. And so you can see how it was much bigger than the linear servers we had today. So our Linux today fit in a hospital room, whereas this machine was much larger. If you then move in 10 years later, in the 1960s, if you're a medical physicist, then this is what a Linux would have looked like, one that you might have worked with. So this here's a picture from an ad in radiology back in the early 60s. So again, so the Linux has evolved a little bit, and now it's all in one room. However, you can see in the ad that things that people were worried about back then were very different than the people were worried about today. So as an example, it had a unique still-off accelerator tube for reliability of service. So the vacuum system in these early accelerators was very difficult to control, and they didn't work very well, and they made for reliability problems. So very different from today. So today, Linux accelerators are different. They're highly reliable. They work pretty much all the time. They're much more automated than they were in the 1960s in the early days. So modern Linux can detect when your integration need is not well adjusted and fix itself. They're robotically controlled. So some motions that would have taken essentially days in the 1970s can be programmed and executed in minutes today. So if you think about IMRT VMAT, there's really no reason why we couldn't have done IMRT or VMAT back in the 60s and 70s. Just that it would have taken much longer to deliver. So we have robotically controlled Linux, and our Linux today are essentially latency. They're fully integrated near real-time 3D patient imaging. So this is just an example of what a Linux looks like today. This is a CyberKnife, which is an expanded Linux, which sits over here. So it's much smaller than those Linux we showed before. It sits on a robotic arm. It has an imaging system as well as imaging detectors that are built in, and it has a real-time tracking system. So the linear accelerator not only is it much smaller, it's much more suited to treating patients, but it also is fully automated, including the ability to move with the patient as the patient moves. So this is just my personal view on Linux. So I have a background in Linux engineering. I used to work for companies that built Linux back in the 1990s. And I've been involved in 2 Linux MRI integration projects, both in Edmonton and Toronto. So I've become convinced that medical physicists can contribute profoundly to advancing medicine by enabling computer technology to be integrated into clinical settings. So in the hospital, we don't build equipment and we don't fix equipment, but we do make sure that once the technology is in the clinic, that it's very helpful. And I think that's where our strength is. However, there still are some opportunities when it comes to technologies like Linux. So this slide is meant to illustrate that point. So back in the early days, the collaboration between an engineering physicist was essential to making a linear accelerator function in the clinic. If it wasn't for the medical physicist, the engineers wouldn't have known how to program the Linux and make it work. So the engineers knew why the machine was failing, but they didn't know what the clinical objective of the machine was. And so whereas medical physicists, on the other hand, didn't know how to make the beam stable, but we knew what we wanted the machine to do. So medical physicists back in the day had much better knowledge of Linux physics because they were working quite closely in collaboration with Linux engineers. So I suggest and I have hypothesized that this collaboration led to a faster and more successful medical device development. that otherwise would have been possible. So as I said before, Linux physics Linux physics knowledge today, I think, has declined a little bit. So stable Linux beams are good for clinical operations, but they're bad for physicists and engineer collaborations. So today we don't really, when we collaborate with industry, we don't collaborate on the basic Linux physics. We collaborate on the application of Linux. So how to make treatment planning better, or how to deliver more complicated radiation beams in a faster way. And because of the complexity of Linux physics, teaching it in a formal setting is difficult. So for example, most medical physics residency programs do not have the Linux physics module. So a specific module where medical physics residents are taught and examined on Linux physics. And to my knowledge, there are no campus programs at all that have, with accredited physics residencies, that have a formal Linux physics module, including an assessment. And part of the problem is that there are a few tools, including textbooks and software, that are available to teach Linux physics to medical physicists. And as I said before, the basic problem is that Linux physics is hard. It's really complicated. So electron beam acceleration and waveguide is advanced physics. But more importantly, there isn't a direct relationship between the Linux physics and the clinical properties. So there's really a convoluted relationship between the basic physics. So in other words, what makes an electron beam accelerate? How do you make an electron beam get to megavoltage energies and then have it hit a target and generate bremsable photons? So that's physics and the properties that we're interested in as medical physicists. So there's no direct correlation, so it's difficult as a physicist to appreciate what the machine is doing and how it affects properties. Okay, so if we're going to teach, so in an ideal world, if we're going to teach Linux physics, what would we do? So we should relate the basic physical principles to the clinical parameters. I think you want to have some sort of means of having a hands-on component, so learn by doing. There also are a lot of, anyone who's spoken to Linux engineers or other people from the industry knows that there's certain jargon issues. And so Linux engineers and electronics technicians use certain words that mean different things to different people. So they mean different things for engineers as they do to physicists, and this I think contributes to problems. And also, very importantly, there are very few resources. So other than the text by Kreismark, which is fantastic, it's very good, but it's also 25 years old, there really aren't any other resources to teach Linux physicists, to teach Linux physics to medical physicists. So the idea then, and this is an idea that I had, and I just want to credit in this slide Bill McPherson, who was the head at the Credit Valley Cancer Clinic, who really funded this and made this happen in terms of allowing us to hire students. But we hired students and we built some software. And the idea was that a lot of Linux physics, even though it's very complicated, it can be modeled in a very simple way. So when you boil down a lot of the physics within an accelerator, whether that be electron acceleration or amplification of the microwaves in the klystron, or steering, or production of the photon beam, a lot of it can be modeled actually quite simply using analog functions. So functions that can be computed very quickly on a simple computer. And then what you do is when you combine all these models together, you can then link the basic machine adjustments, so the voltages and currents that you set in the later accelerator, and show how that affects the clinical beam that you would then generate. And so we think that, and so we thought that we did this not as a tool in order to do research on building later accelerators and how to make it better, but on how to teach Linux functionality better. So we did some work, and we published it in JCMP a few years ago, and the title of the paper was called Simulation of Medical Accelerator for Teaching Purposes. And this is just an example of the screen of what Summit looks like. And so we put a lot of effort into making a user interface that related to something that you'd see in a clinic. And so this is meant to look like service mode of the clinical accelerator. And what this is so you have some parameters that you can adjust, and then you have some feedback over here, and then you have some physics modules that are inside these different modules. There's a klystron accelerator and treatment head module. So just to explain what the physics is within SIMAC. So there's, I think, as I said, there are three modules. There is there's an accelerator module, and so the idea is that the basic Linux physics can be simulated by what's called the the load line and using the concept of shunting beams, with beam energy and beam current are basically related by a straight line. We also modeled the acceleration, or the amplification of microwaves in the klystron. We modeled the klystron saturation using a simple analytic function. And then we did a fairly simple photon beam transport through the head, and we're able to produce, and based on fluence of current and energies, we're able to model the transport through the sliding filter and through a phantom, and then predict what the beam proposal look like, whether in the radial or transverse direction. So again, so this is the screen for. That certain parameters within LINAC, and so these are the voltages and currents that are kind of under the hood of the LINAC, and that set is basically operating parameters, and so things like gun voltage, grid voltages, our frequency, klystron voltage, and then steering coil currents. When you do that, then what happens is that you get certain operating parameters of the LINAC that you can measure, so things like the actual voltage on the klystron pulse, the amount of RF power that's generated, and so on. And then what was also displayed here are the clinical beam properties. So the beam dose rate in physical units, as well as the beam properties, flatness and symmetry, which is what we measure in the clinic. There also are these three buttons which go into the physics of the beam. So there's the klystron button, the accelerator button, and the treatment head button. And those kind of show when you click on these, you get the picture I showed in the screen, the slide before, that shows the physics and what the operating point is from a physical point of view. So there are certain things that you can do with the software that you can't really do with a LINAC unless you're a very advanced user. So one of the things that you can do is you can simulate what's called beam tuning, which is something that LINAC service engineers do when they're adjusting the beam. And basically, what they're doing is they're making sure that the beam output is maximized for a certain setting. And so what you can do is you can do a plot like this where you vary the klystron voltage and keeping everything else constant. And you can then measure what the beam energy is, which is this dashed line over here, and the dose rate. And what you can see is that as you're increasing klystron voltage and keeping things constant, the dose rate peaks at a point over here, and then drops off. And this is what's called beam peaking. And it's a very complicated procedure to do if you don't know what you're doing, because in the process of doing this, you can harm the LINAC and basically make LINAC not function at all. If you lose the electron beam. However, on the computer program, you can do this quite easily because it's just a simulation program, and you can't harm anything. And in doing so, you can also vary things like klystron voltage over a much wider range than you would on a real clinical machine and observe what's happening. You can do the same thing with gun current, and so as you increase gun current, what you do, you can simulate what's called beam loading. So here the energy decreases as the gun current is increasing, because you have more electrons to accelerate for a fixed amount of acceleration power by the LINAC. And what happens is when you're doing that is that the dose rate also peaks at a similar place, and this is also called beam peaking. So you can teach this with a simulation program in a much different way than you would on a real machine, because you don't have to worry about the same things. You have access to the program, and you don't have to worry about machine failing when you're doing the experiment. The other thing that you can do from a more of a clinical end is you can explore what machine parameters have the effect they have on clinical beam properties, so flatness and symmetry. So this top slide over here is just adjusting the steering currents, and you can see that if you adjust steering currents, you can make a beam asymmetric, and you can kind of understand, you get a feel for how much steering current will make a beam, how much asymmetry you can introduce. And you can also examine the effect of beam energy on flatness. So this over here on the bottom left is a slide of the flatness that you'd observe if you had a 4.5 MeV electron beam, infinite on a flattening filter that was designed for a 6 MeV beam. So you have a low energy beam that's incident on a flattening filter that's designed for higher energy. So what happens is in that case you have a lot of absorption of the beam in the center of the flattening filter, and then less on the sides because of the beam hardening of the beam as you go off center. And what you see is you get a beam which is very, very unflat. You can also do the inverse, where you then increase the energy of the electron beam to higher than what the design filter is designed for. And then you get the inverse effect, where you get a lot of transmission at the center of the beam and absorption off on the sides. And so you get a beam which is also unflat but very different. And these are experiments that you simply couldn't do on a clinical machine, because then the worry here is that you may not break the machine, you may make it clinically unusable and very different than what the assumption of the clinical parameters are in the treatment plan system. So on a computer you can simulate this and learn, but in a real machine it's difficult to learn this. So this is another example of a lab that can be done with SIMAC. So here are a number of uses where we're given instructions to change the beam energy from 6 MeV to 10 MeV and to record the bending magnetic current in the accelerator as they're doing that. And so the way that you do this on a clinical machine is you do this in a straight line, going over here in very small steps in order to make sure that you didn't damage the machine. But on a simulated machine, you can do this in very different ways, because really you can adjust the machine any way you want and observe what the machine is doing, and again learn what's happening in terms of Linux physics. And you can see here that the people who did this in very, very different ways, which implies that they were learning in ways which are important to them. So this is what we did. So we created the software. We published a paper, and then we had a lot of people that expressed interest in it. And so we decided that what we wanted to do for this project was to make the project accessible to anyone who wanted it. So we have a website for the project. It's called simaclinic.com. As you go there, this is the screen that you see, and I'll talk more about what's the website a little later on in terms of how we want this project to go. So the project has a home. If you go here, you can download the software for free. There's no charge, and we have compiled versions for both Macs and for Windows. And this is just a slide to show where people have downloaded it to, so with countries, and so it's been downloaded all over the world, and so we're very happy with that. And again, this is also just a list of the institutions that have expressed interest in SIMAC and have downloaded it. And lastly, this is just some of the feedback that we got about people who use LINAC in terms of their enjoyment of the software and how they felt it was helpful for them in their learning. And so I'll come back to this a little bit later when we talk about the project that we're doing in terms of seeing how well SIMAC works as a teaching tool. So you can see here there is some obviously people who used it seem to think that it was helpful. So this is a quote by Margaret Drabble. Margaret Drabble is an author, is an English author, and she wrote a lot about what people can do in an environment where things aren't necessarily controlled. And so she wrote about she's British, and so she wrote a lot about England in the 1960s and 70s. And a lot of her writing, what comes out is that when people want to do something, even though it might not necessarily be certain what you're doing when you start, anything can happen. So that's the quote is, when nothing is sure, everything is possible. So the idea is that with SIMAC, what is it that we need to add to SIMAC in order to make what we hope can make the radiation oncology problem, which is how to treat our cancer patients better by using some sort of simulated learning environment. So simulated learning isn't new. I mean, we didn't invent this. There's lots of people who've done this before, and it's been studied in the medical environment quite a bit. So this is a paper that was published in the Trauma Journal quite recently. I'll just read the first sentence here. It says, simulation is a technique for practice and learning that can be applied to many different disciplines and trainees. It's a technique, so it's not a technology, but it's a technique, which can replace and amplify real experiences with guided ones, often immersing in nature, that evoke or replicate substantial aspects of the real world in a fully interactive fashion. Simulation-based learning can be the way to develop health professionals' knowledge, skills, and attitudes whilst protecting patients from unnecessary risks. Again, this is the idea in CIMAC, is that we wanted to protect the LINAC and also the patients from the risk because learning the complicated physics of a linear accelerator on a machine which is really designed to work in the clinic and treat patients isn't really the ideal environment to do that. So this simulation can help here, hopefully. So this is just another paper that was published on, again, in JAMA, which is a fairly important health journal. Simulation technology for healthcare professional skills and reading assessment. So again, it's a reading from the abstract. Although the use of simulation technology, including multimedia computer programs, is now only gaining wider acceptance in medicine, such technology is well established in other disciplines. Examples include the use of flight simulators for pilots and astronauts. So really, what I explained to CIMAC to people is that CIMAC is kind of like a flight simulator, but for linear accelerators. So in terms of learning, and so again, CIMAC when we first made it, we wanted to see if we could do it. That was the first thing. But then we hoped it would be helpful in a learning environment. And then as we kind of got into this and try to understand how people were learning, there are certain principles that you can apply in terms of learning. So in terms of Kirkpatrick studied this, and he kind of laid out different levels where people learn things. So there's kind of level one learning is what's called the reaction. So the participant reaction to the intervention. So basically the idea here is that do people enjoy or not enjoy what the tools are used to learning. So that's why those quotes that I showed you before are important, because people who've used CIMAC, the feedback we've had has been fairly universally positive, and that people have enjoyed the tool and that felt that they can learn. Doesn't mean they're actually learning anything, but they've at least enjoyed the tool and so they can learn. So what we think we've developed is what Kirkpatrick would call level one learning. Level two learning is the degree to which learning occurs as a result of the actual inventions. So this is the actual knowledge that you gain. So whether you actually know more or less, you may enjoy the learning experience, but you may not actually learn anything. So level two learning is actually, you actually know more. Level three learning is, does this knowledge then change the way you do at work? So do you implement things at work? Are you transferring this knowledge to your workflows at work? Are you working differently? And then level four, does this actually make a difference on patients? So level four is obviously a very advanced, very high level learning that would be awesome if CIMAC has level four learning. I don't think we're anywhere near that. We believe that we've demonstrated that CIMAC has level one learning, but what we'd like to do is we'd like to show that CIMAC has level two learning. So the people who use it actually learn something, and that it decreases the amount of time that, say, a medical physicist or an electronics technician would need in order to become proficient at linear accelerator physics. So with that in mind, we've seen some funding. So this is back from when I was back at U of T. So I worked at University at Prince Margaret Hospital and University of Toronto for a number of years, and I moved to BC Cancer Agency since then, about a year and a half ago. So while I was back at UHM, myself and a colleague, Nicole Harnett, who's on the line here with us, obtained some funding to study CIMAC and to try to measure how much learning, what its value is in a learning environment. So the statement of our purpose then was that training in linear accelerator LINAC physics is at present underrepresented at University of Toronto Department of Radiology Medical Physics Residency Program and in many other medical physics training programs. To address this, we propose to evaluate a simulated learning product called CIMAC as a method to provide easily accessible and low-cost training to medical physicists, residents, and others. So that's what the purpose of the grant is for. So we have a certain things that we kind of believe. So we believe that simulated learning is equivalent to first-hand experience, and that's kind of what those two papers showed before. So it's as good as learning right on the LINAC. So learning from a simulated program that has the same value as learning right on LINAC. What we'd like to do is we'd like to shift the focus of teaching LINAC physics from the beam delivery of LINACs away from beam generation back to the collaboration with engineers and service staff. So back to Margaret Drabel's quote is there a value to making radiotherapy better? Are there innovations to be had if there are better collaborations between LINAC engineers and medical physicists? We'd like to close the knowledge and skills gap that can result in increased collaboration and innovation and potentially lead to improvements in our quality. and self-directed collaboration and autonomous interactive can lead to productive innovation and development in a given enterprise. So, for example, Google likes to give their employees 20% time to do whatever they like. So, does that lead to innovations that you can't predict? And so this is the same idea here. Does collaboration from a basic physics point of view and then accelerators lead to some innovation that's difficult to predict? So this is kind of the scheme of what we hope to do in terms of demonstrating the Linux physics learning. So the phase one, which is what I'm going to talk about now, in terms of this grant, is to identify the goals of medical physics trainees, develop tools to measure learning against learning outcomes, and to measure the impact of SIMAC software and learning activities against learning outcomes. That's the goal. That's the current goal. Eventually, though, we'd like to then introduce this into residency programs and have better tools for residency programs to teach linear accelerated physics, which is why we'd like to. A lot of what we're doing is we're putting on a website and making it available to anyone who wants to use it. And finally, hopefully, going to competence model can be, go to level 3 and level 4 learning where grading quality improvements are achieved through collaboration and innovation. So the methodology of the study then is to establish learning outcomes. So the learning outcomes are established with the ability to understand Linux physics in relation to Linux quality assurance after servicing, to develop evaluation methods. And so the way we're doing that is by a pre- and a post-knowledge test designed using clinical-based scenarios, and then to do an assessment. So what we want to do is we want to recruit residents and medical physicists from some centers and from around the world. And so I'll talk about this in a minute, about which is the recruitment of participants. And we were hoping to finish this by the fall of 2016. And so you can tell here that we're late. We're about a year and a half behind schedule in this study. We've learned that recruiting participants is a little more complicated than we thought. But we're hopeful that through this webinar today and through the knowledge of this, that we can recruit enough people to gain the statistical power that we need in order to show that you can actually learn that SIMAC is effective at teaching Linux physics. So what we hope to show, so the outcomes for this first phase. So at the completion of the SIMAC learning, the learning module, learning will be able to. What we hope to do is to identify a being Linux performance problem, so to understand what the performance issue of Linux is, and so what's broken. Describe the underlying Linux functionality malfunction associated with being performance. So what is it about the Linux physics that failed? And then understand how to resolve that functionality problem. And then finally understand what quality assurance tests are appropriate to ensure that the problem resolution has correctly returned the Linux means acceptable state. So in other words, the objectives here are really for medical physicists to have tools to be able to assess whether they understand if a Linux has failed, understand what is the underlying problem, what's the Linux physics, how it affects the clinical being properties, how to resolve that, and then to make sure that the resolution correctly return the linear accelerator to its clinical state, so to perform the way we expect it to in Linux. So that's what we're hoping to show. So we have if you sign up for this study, you'll get access to these learning scenarios. So there's a number of scenarios that you have access to, and so the way the system works is you have introduction to the scenario, you have some questions about what the scenario is about how the scenario was resolved, and then you have a quiz at the end. So we have, as an example, we have a scenario on what we call a beam setup scenario. So it's a similar scenario if you're setting up Linux energy during commissioning or during installation of the Linux, and it asks there are certain issues around what the energy was desired to be and what it was. And so there are questions for that. So there are certain kind of the initial part are questions, but just to make sure they understand what the scenario is, and then there's an actual quiz which is scored and then evaluated. So there are three scenarios. There's a beam tuning scenario, a beam steering scenario, and a beam setup scenario. So these cover kind of three areas of Linux physics. So beam tuning being about one slide I showed before, which is the area where service engineers will kind of make sure that the beam is producing the maximum dose rate for its setup. Beam steering, in terms of flatness and symmetry, and then the actual, beam setup in terms of how beams are set up at the commissioning of LINAC. So the outcomes then of this project, and this is, I'll just reiterate, I think I've mostly said this. We want to ensure accessibility to the software. We would like to develop collaborations to add robustness to the tool. So SIMAC is developed now. It's not finished by any means. There's lots more that can be added to it that can make it better. So we'd like to be able to share. We'd like to be able to share this. We'd like to be able to share the findings of this and ideas that come out of this. With the community, and we're hoping that this will improve to the safety of radiotherapy, all over the world. So these are just some of the institutions that are participating in this SIMAC study. So there's a number of institutions around Toronto, which are associated with the University of Toronto Residency Program, and there's also some participating institutions at McGill and at Duke University. So that's the study in terms of how it was formulated, and those are the institutions that are kind of participating in designing the study. But the study is not limited to those institutions, and anyone in the world who would like to participate in the study and to help us evaluate whether SIMAC is a useful learning tool can join. So if you go to the SIMAC webpage and you go to the button around the study, you'll get to this page, which asks you to register. You can register as a study participant. There's no cost. It's all free. You'll have access to all the learning materials, and of course, obviously, the software. And the value to us will be that you'll allow us to understand whether SIMAC really is useful for that level 2 learning, which is that we will actually build knowledge in that, and hopefully this will allow us then in our path down the road toward showing that SIMAC can be help make RT better and RT safer. So the future of the project then is we'd like to expand the physics within SIMAC. So as I said before, so the physics within SIMAC is we think pretty good, but there's lots more that can be added to it. So as an example, it really deals only with a klystron-based linear accelerator. It doesn't deal with a magnetron-based linear accelerator. We also don't model the ion chambers in the LINAC, and so the ion chambers are very important for the feedback loop in terms of dose rate, regulation, and control. So we don't really model that at all. So that's a whole level of complexity that we'd like to add. And there's lots of other stuff as well. And finally, what's really important is we want to make sure that SIMAC is available to the entire medical physics community around the world and the radiation oncology community around the world. So the model is that this will hopefully stay in the public domain. And it's through collaborations and help from the community in terms of evaluating that we can ensure that happens. So I just want to acknowledge at the end. So this is the Accelerated Education Program course on accelerated technology. So a lot of the use and the proof of principle of SIMAC was done through this course. This is the course that I was involved in while I was back in Toronto for about 6 years or so. And we used SIMAC in, I believe, 4 or 5 of those years. And there are many students who came to take this course and used it and evaluated and gave us their feedback. And it's really through that interaction that we learned about how to teach linear accelerators and what the challenges are. So this course is currently happening right now. I believe it's starting today. The course directors are Brent Orlinger and Nathan Becker, and this is the website for the course, and you can email this website address to get information about it. So that's the presentation on SIMAC. I'm happy to have a discussion and answer any questions. So thank you very much.
Can you hear me, Marco?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, you can. Okay. Thank you for that. Very informative and, well, obviously unbiased. I think it's very interesting. We can't take questions from the broader webinar community, but we can take questions from the attendees here at the course. I don't know if anybody has any questions about SIMAC, if you've heard of it or seen it before today. Has anybody laid eyes on it? The residents haven't seen it either? No? What's that?
Briefly, but not really.
Okay, so you haven't dove in and used it or anything. Okay. Any questions about what you heard?
I have one. Have any manufacturers developed any similar types of software to advance their technology? Like, or is this a new concept in general?
Did you hear that, Marco?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so the question is, have any manufacturers developed anything like this, or is this sort of the first of its kind in this realm?
So I don't believe that the manufacturers have developed this. The manufacturers will have, at the training courses that they offer, they will have they have Linux from their test cells. I have not heard that they have this, and I have spoken to both Varian and Electa at a very high level, not very detailed levels about this, and they didn't tell me that they had anything similar. So I don't think so. I think it is a new thing.
Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you, Marco.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thanks everyone for participating, and then to all those who logged in from around the world. Thank you for participating, and hopefully you'll find it helpful.
And visit the website, cimaclinac.com, if you need more information or want some contact information. Okay, bye.